The door slammed shut. 6 terrified faces stared back at me. Room 404, detention. We were trapped.
This place gives me the creeps.
Her voice trembled, and her eyes darted around the room, wide with fear. Each corner seemed to hold its breath. Dust-covered books lined the shelves, their pages whispering untold secrets. The air was heavy with dread. I felt a shiver crawl down my spine. We were not alone. A low hum resonated from the walls, growing louder. It felt like the room was watching us, its cold, dead eyes boring into our souls. This wasn't just any detention. This was something far worse. The silence was broken by whispers. Faint and disembodied, they seemed to slither from the shadows, wrapping around us like icy fingers.
Did you hear that?
John's eyes were wide with terror. The whispers grew louder, morphing into incoherent murmurs. They seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once, swirling around us like a malevolent wind. The old grandfather clock in the corner, silent until now, suddenly chimed twice. Its voice was deep and resonant, each chime echoing the beat of our racing hearts. The hands remained frozen, stuck at midnight. Time stood still in room 404. The shadows danced in the flickering light, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes. We were prisoners in a nightmare, and the nightmare was just beginning. Panic tightened its grip on the room. We huddled together, our fear a tangible thing. Then Mark stumbled upon a loose floorboard under his desk.
Look!
His voice was strained. He pried open the floorboard, revealing a small wooden box. Inside lay a leather-bound diary, its pages yellowed with age. The name Emily Grant was etched on the cover in faded ink. Emily Grant. A name whispered in the hallways, a legend shrouded in mystery. We took turns reading her words, each sentence pulling us deeper into the room's dark history. Emily, a bright student trapped in a web of misfortune, had been forced to spend countless hours in this very room. Her words spoke of strange occurrences, of whispers and shadows, and of a presence that refused to be ignored. Her final entry, scrawled in hurried handwriting, sent chills down our spines. The room is alive. It wants me. It wants us all. Emily's diary had changed everything. The whispers, the shadows, they weren't just figments of our imagination. They were real, and they were closing in. Alliances born of desperation and fear began to form. Sarah and John, their fear a shared bond, clung to each other, seeking solace in their proximity. Mark, ever the pragmatist, tried to decipher the cryptic messages in Emily's diary, hoping to find a way out.
And then there was me, lost in my own thoughts, haunted by Emily's words. I couldn't shake the feeling that we were pawns in a deadly game, a game orchestrated by forces beyond our comprehension. Trust became a luxury we could ill afford. Every creak of the floorboard, every whisper in the dark, sowed seeds of suspicion. We were all trapped in room 404, but were we all on the same side?
The temperature plummeted. A bone-chilling cold seeped into the room, gnawing at our bones. Then, a figure coalesced from the shadows. It was a man, tall and imposing, dressed in the attire of a bygone era. His face, pale and gaunt, was etched with an expression of profound sadness. His eyes, 2 burning embers in the darkness, held us captive.
This room is cursed. It feeds on fear, on despair.
The Headmaster.
Recognition dawned on Jaden.
It's the Headmaster's ghost.
You are trapped. Trapped by the very fears that bind you here.
Then, just as suddenly as he appeared, he vanished, leaving behind a trail of icy air and a message that echoed in our minds. We were not just trapped in a room, but in our own deepest fears. The Headmaster's warning hung in the air, heavy and ominous. We were out of time. We needed to act, to break free from this prison of fear. Jaden, his eyes gleaming with newfound determination, pointed to a section of the wall where the wallpaper peeled, revealing an old inscription.
There's something behind the wall. This is our only chance.
We pushed against the wall, our combined strength shaking its foundations. Finally, with a deafening groan, it gave way, revealing a narrow passage shrouded in darkness. Armed with nothing but a flickering torch and Emily's diary clutched tightly in my hand, we stepped into the unknown. The passage was cold and damp, the air thick with the scent of decay and the weight of centuries. The passage opened into a small, circular chamber. Strange symbols, etched into the stone floor, pulsed with an eerie light. In the center, an altar stood bathed in an otherworldly glow. This was no ordinary room. This was a place of power, a place of secrets, a place where the veil between worlds wore thin. We were closer to the truth, but also closer to the heart of the curse. The air in the chamber crackled with energy. The symbols on the floor glowed brighter, casting flickering shadows that danced to a rhythm we couldn't hear. Emily's diary held the key to breaking the curse. We just needed to find it.
Look, it says here that the room feeds on fear. To break the curse, we need to confront it, to show it that we are not afraid.
We joined hands, forming a circle around the altar. The air grew heavy, pressing down on us like a physical weight. Fear, primal and instinctive, threatened to consume us. But we fought back, drawing strength from each other, from the memory of Emily Grant, from the desperate hope for freedom. We would not be consumed. We would be free. The room pulsed with energy. The symbols on the floor blazed with blinding light. A swirling vortex of energy formed above the altar, its colors shifting and changing like a kaleidoscope gone mad. We closed our eyes, bracing for the unknown. A high-pitched whine pierced the air, followed by a deafening roar. The ground shook beneath our feet. Then silence. We opened our eyes to find ourselves back in room 404. The door was open. Sunlight streamed in through the windows, painting the room in a normalcy that felt both strange and welcoming. Had we imagined it all? Was the curse broken? We stumbled out of the room, blinking in the sudden brightness. Freedom, once a distant dream, was now our reality. Or was it? The events of that night, the whispers, the shadows, the Headmaster's ghost, they all lingered in our minds, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of our ordinary world. We were free from room 404, but were we truly free from the curse?